Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and as part of our Sundance 2022 coverage, I am jumping into the first big film I saw of the festival. Let's talk about the new movie, Emergency. The film Emergency from director Carey Williams is exactly how I wanted to kick off my Sundance weekend. This had a bit of everything. It is highly entertaining. I laughed throughout the whole film, but there's an underlying tension throughout the whole movie that kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. I was I was just honestly amazed that this film had as much qualities to it. This is a very layered script with a lot to try to do. Not only is the premise a bit bold, but there's also a lot of social commentary. There's a lot of satirical moments. There's a lot of things layered throughout the script that I find it to be one of the more entertaining films I've seen in a while. Not just a Sundance festival film, but this film will stick with me for a while. Emergency is a powerful film that, again, it has a little bit of elements of comedy, has some tension, it has some drama. There's just so much jam-packed into one film that I cannot believe that there's more to watch this weekend. Emergency follows two friends, well, a third one joins them later on named Carlos, but Kunle and Sean are trying to have a fun night where they just get hammered and do something called the Legendary Tour. Very college, very frat boy stuff. They're just trying to go through, have a fun night. So they go over to their little home. Carlos is there, and he's not noticing that there's some passed out white girl in their front living room area. And they're confused. Carlos is confused because he's stoned out of his mind. Same thing with Sean. Kunle is a bit more straight-laced, a bit more clean-cut of all three of them, and they're trying to figure out what to do with the passed-out white girl in their house. And there are three men of color, so they're a bit intimidated at first to call the police. So they try to go through different routes. Carlos ends up calling this girl Goldilocks because she just found the right place to pass out. I was liking this setup, and they don't take a while to get there. They jump straight into the action, which lets us enjoy the story throughout. It really lets it take time to unfold. I thought we were going to get about 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in before we get really crazy, but they jump off pretty great. They still leave room to have character development. I know a lot about Kunle and Sean by the end of the film. I get to know their characters and I'm really there. Carlos is there. He's great. I do like him, but he's not the main character of this. So yeah, they have a fun, weird night where they have to try to figure out what to do with this passed out girl named Emma. They try to take her to this place. This doesn't work. It's just hijinks ensue. And again, there is a funny element to this. I could definitely see this in a different version being a super bad or one of those 2000s teen movies, but this has that element where these are three men of color that are yo, if we get caught with this could be bad for everyone involved. So they're just trying to figure out what to do. While all of this is happening, Emma's sister Maddie has her group of friends, and they're trying to find Emma, and they have to kind of follow them around, and they're getting the weird ideas of Kunle, Sean, and Carlos. They're seeing them from a distance and oh my goodness, what's happening? It kind of reminds me of Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where you have a perception of people and you put that on them and you can be completely wrong. But what we walk into every situation in life with our own baggage. It happens a lot throughout this film where, they get accused of drug dealing by white liberals who have a Black Lives Matter thing. Interesting. There's little things like that. So I think this movie plays on all that very well. It's a fun plot, and it has a lot going for it. Now let's talk about the acting, because that really surprised me. Now, throughout the film, there are great performances, but there are three that stand out to me. Sabrina Carpenter as Maddie really has a lot to do here. She is not passed out, so she gets a lot more to do other than the Emma character. She has a lot of layers to her. She's a bit angry, and the way she bickers with her friends is great, but I also understood her confusion. Same thing with the Sean's character, played by RJ Seiler. I got where his perspective was coming from. I really felt for him where, there's a lot of conversations about classism, especially within the black community, where he isn't as from a privileged life as Kunle. So there is some baggage there, and how he handles that. I love RJ Cyler. I've loved him since Power Rangers. He is a talent. He's really good. But who surprised me here was Donald Elise Watkins. I had seen him in the Underground Railroad show that was last year. Loved that show. I liked him in it, and I liked him in this a lot. There is a speech he has near the end of the film that broke my heart. Just the hopelessness his character felt throughout some moments here. It is so good. This film has so many moments that really stick with you, and it's the acting that really brings you there. I love seeing this younger cast really have these star-making performances. When I go into Sundance, I want to see young actors like this get their big shot at a film that a lot of people are going to see. I hope a lot of people see Emergency at this festival, and then when it comes out, I believe Amazon has picked this up, so definitely check it out on Amazon streaming or in theaters, or if they decide to release it. It definitely comes with a high recommendation, and it's the story, but it's also the acting that carries it through that. I had a great time breaking down this film, but I had an even better time watching it. Emergency is a great way that I kicked off my Sundance 2022 coverage, and I cannot wait for more people to see it. If you happen to have watched this movie, what do you think down in the comments below? Share your feelings, and make sure you guys stay tuned because we have way more Sundance coverage to come. So make sure you guys subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you did enjoy. All right, everyone, let's talk about Emergency and Sundance down below.